talking about the limit point, and which means the furthest part of the road. So I just need to explain that first before I begin, otherwise you're not going to know what I'm talking about. The limit point is basically where the end of the road is about what you can see. So the limit point is going to be basically either round a bend where you can't see, or the limit point is going to be a straight road and you can see all the way down the road and you can see really far ahead. So the furthest point that you can see is called the limit point. When you are going round a bend, the limit point is going to be very close to you, which means you need to go slower. And it doesn't matter if it's dark or light, this is going to be happening. And when the limit point is far away, then you can increase your speed if it's safe to do so. Now, when you've got a limit point which is quite close to you, you may or may not have black and white chevrons or sharp bend signs or stuff like that. You may have it or you may not. So if the limit point is close to you, you need to go slower. If the limit point is further away, then you can start to potentially pick up your speed. So basically, I've given you with the intro about the limit point, so if the limit point is closer to you, you're going to go slower. And if it's far away, then you can add speed if it's safe to do so. And some of the bends are going to have black and white chevrons and some of them are not. So it doesn't mean that you shouldn't slow down if there's not a black and white chevron or a sharp bend sign, because you need to read the road. You need to watch the cat's eyes, see where the cat's eyes are going. If you've got any reflectors, that can help you to know if you've got a bend. And it can also be quite useful if you've got a car in front of you as well, because you can see their lights and you can then therefore read the road and the bends from the red lights that you're seeing in front of you stretch away from you. So those kind of little things are going to be helpful. Now, as you're going down and you're approaching these bends, the slowest part of the bend is going to be as you come up to it, because you're going to be speed down. You're going to be using your brake on the straight part of the road towards the bend. That's where you're going to brake, towards the bend on the straight part of the road. So you're killing off all your speed towards the bend. Now, if you go round the bend and you don't need to use a gear change, let's just say you're already in third, okay, or you're in fourth and the bend's not ridiculously sharp or something like that, right? The bend's not that bad, but you're still going to brake on the straight part before the bend itself, before the limit point is close to you. Then you're going to come off the gas and you're going to allow yourself to pretty much go round the corner at the lower speed that you create from braking on the straight part by coming off the gas or using very minimum gas on the actual part of the bend that's going round. And then as you exit the bend and you're leaving it, that's when you would reintroduce the gas. So kind of 3/4 out at the right time. And then that would kind of stick you to the floor like super glue. So you're using the gas to exit the bend. So that is the correct way of doing it. All right. So you brake on the straight part of it. Then little to no gas to go round it, depending on how sharp or whatever the gradient is, how bendy the gradient is. And then you use the gas to exit the bend, stick to the floor. All right, guys? So that's basically how it's done. Okay, so now let's talk about when we need to gear change for the sharper bends on these country roads. Now, when they are sharper, the government has probably come in and put a black and white chevron or a sharp bend sign or reflectors or something that shines up in the lights so you can see that it's a sharp bend. They've paid for a sign, guys. If the government have put money on it and there's a sign, then they've paid for it, so you need to pay attention. Guys, if the sign has been paid for, pay attention. Never, ever, ever ignore a black and white chevron or a sharp bend sign, ever. Now, I don't want to be like brutally kind of mama bear on you here, yeah, but these roads are the most dangerous in the UK, okay? If we come up to these bends and we don't have good speed, then our position is going to be horrendous. Okay, if we've got too much speed, we could spin out. Yeah, very, very dangerous. But if we're going too fast, our position is going to be wrong, and that's dangerous as well. Okay, so we need to slow down and we need to pay attention to signs that have been paid for. Okay, I'm going to stop there because otherwise I'll just turn into Mother Bear on you. Okay, but okay, as we're going down, it's more likely It's just not singularly on this. Please don't get me wrong. If there's a sign, it's more chance that you're going to need to change down. But please don't get me wrong on this. If the limit point is close to you, you still need to monitor that. What happens if the signs have just fallen down or be hit by something and that they're in the bush because somebody's hit it? So please monitor the limit point, and if it's close to you, go slower. Do gear change for that if you need to as well. But if you see black and white chevrons, the likelihood of you changing gear is even higher, okay? But just please monitor the bends. I'm turning into Mother Bear, aren't I? Okay, moving swiftly on. Okay, so as you see the black and white chevron and the sharp bend sign, we're going to be doing the same technique, but it's going to include a gear change. So as you're coming up to the bend on the straight part of the road, you need to brake. Kill your speed on the straight part of the road. Braking, braking, braking. As you're doing that, monitor the strength of the bend and choose a working gear, 1, 2, and 3. Depending on how strong it is, okay, you're going to be going to one of those gears. Obviously, you're the driver. Look at the bends. All country roads are different, okay? Choose the gear that is suitable for the for the bend, okay? Braking on the straight bit, all right? Braking on the straight bit. Kill the speed off. Clutch goes down. Then select the lower gear of your choice to do the bend successfully. Yeah, brake to the speed that you need for that gear. Yeah, whatever the gear is. And then off brake, clutch coming up to the biting point at least to start doing the actual part of the bend. So make sure you're on the biting point and then try and come off it as you're doing it as well. So you're not coasting, okay? And then go round the bend with a very little gas or none at all. And then as you're exiting, like I said before, adding the gas to leave the bend so you stick to the floor. So it's the same technique, but there is a gear change in there as well. All right. Okay, so now that we've got that, let's do this in real time. I'll talk you through it as we do it. Okay, guys, so let's just do this restricted 40-mile-an-hour country road. Guys, it wouldn't matter if it was 50 or even national speed limit at 60 for bikes and motorbikes. The routine would be exactly the same. I just chose this road because I came back from Wagamama's and I just recorded it on the way home, but it would be the same. So please just adopt it for the faster roads. So I pay attention to paid signs. Okay, so there's the double bend sign. So coming up to it. So braking, 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 braking. Lights off for the oncoming person. Braking, clutch down, third gear, off brake, clutch coming up to the bike. No gas or little gas. And then using the gas now to stick myself to the floor to leave the bend. Here I'm going back up to fourth gear and I'm pretty much doing kind of 40. Braking, 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 off brake, keeping good position, looking really far ahead, and then just using the gas now to exit the bend. So round the bend, I would have used minimum gas because I broke on the approach to the bend, okay? So now I'm just basically monitoring the end of the road. So if it's close to me, the limit point, I'll come off my gas slightly. And then if I can see more of the limit point stretching away, I'll use my gas. So I'm just basically waiting for paid for signage, yeah, because those are the ones that I'd really pay attention to. However, like I said before, I still am monitoring other things. So paid for signs. So braking, 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 clutch down, third gear, braking, off brake now, clutch coming up to the bike, no gas or little gas. And now using the gas a little bit and then off gas again to go past that bend and then using the gas again up to fourth. Braking, braking for paid for signs. I pay attention, braking on the straight part, braking, 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 clutch down, braking, third gear, off brake, clutch coming up to the bike, slowest part of the bend, and then overrun and using the gas now to leave the bend, coming up to another bend, braking, braking on the straight part, braking, 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 clutch down, second gear, off brake, clutch coming up to the bike, slowest part of the bend, and using the gas now to accelerate out. National speed limit sign mirrors, but I know that a bend's coming up here, so I've got the signs now, paying attention to signs, braking, 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 braking because of all the signs, braking, braking, clutch down, back to second gear, braking, 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 off brake, clutch coming up to the biting point so I'm not coasting, and then I'm turning right, mirrors, signal, braking, clutch down, first gear, giving way to people on the road because they'll be going extremely fast.